Hello, our dear listeners. Tonight, I'm here to take you on a tranquil journey through history once again. If you have any suggestions for improvements you'd like to see in our future videos, please let us know in the comments. We always listen to your voice. Tonight, we will share our story titled The Epic of Gilgamesh, in pursuit of immortality in ancient Sumer. If you tell us where you are and what time it is in the comments, I feel like I'm connecting with people from all over the world. Now dim the lights, pull your blanket over you, and close your eyes. We begin our silent journey 5,000 years ago to the ancient cities of Mesopotamia. The walls of the city of Uruk, rising on the banks of the Euphrates River, turn golden with the first rays of the sun. In these ancient times, in the very first years when writing had just been invented, Gilgamesh, the king of the city, stands on the highest terrace of his palace and looks upon his people. His body is 2/3 divine, 1/3 human, a mixture that makes him both immensely powerful and drives him into deep loneliness. In the early morning, potters begin working with clay in the city's streets. Women grind grain, children run through the narrow alleys. Gilgamesh sees all this ordinary life but feels separate from them. This morning, like every morning, caravans come and go through Uruk's great gates. Merchants display spices, precious stones, and silks brought from distant lands. Gilgamesh's power is so immense that no one can oppose him. He forcibly takes young men into his army and brings beautiful women to his palace. His people's complaints rise to the heavens. When the gods hear these complaints, they gather before the great god Anu. They decide to create someone who can balance Gilgamesh's power. In the narrow streets of Uruk, as the morning sun warms the mud brick walls of the houses, old Sag,
Gilgamesh, stands on his palace terrace watching this scene. The emptiness within him deepens with the evening's peace. Despite his divine power, he does not know what true happiness is. As night deepens, the streets of Uruk grow silent. Candles in houses extinguish, the light of street lamps fades. Only the footsteps of palace guards and the distant murmur of the river water are heard. Gilgamesh lies in his bed, contemplating the future. What he doesn't know is that tonight the gods are planning a change for him. Aruru, the goddess of creation, has begun to take clay in her hands and knead it. From this clay, a being will be born that will forever change the king's life. In the depths of the night, the wheels of fate have quietly begun to turn. When the sun rises the next morning, Gilgamesh, as usual, gets up early and goes for a walk on the city walls. He does not yet know that in the distant steppes, a being as strong as he, as brave as he, but entirely different, has come into the world. This encounter will be the beginning of the ancient world's greatest tale of friendship, and will lay the foundation for Gilgamesh's quest for immortality. In this silent moment of morning, the winds of change have already begun to blow. On this seemingly ordinary morning, how could the king not know that the greatest adventure of his life awaited him? The silent plans of the gods will become the destiny of mortal hearts. Within the walls of Uruk, one of the greatest stories of ancient times has begun to blossom. So who could this powerful king encounter, and what kind of change will this encounter bring? Just outside the city, shepherds graze their flocks and tell each other their dreams from the night. One of them tells of a strange dream he had last night, a being born in the deserts, able to speak with animals, stronger than humans. This dream is not just a product of the herd's imagination. In distant lands, such a being has indeed begun to breathe. As Aruru's hands shaped the clay, she bestowed all the power of nature upon this new creature. This being, who would be named Enkidu, bears no trace of civilization yet. He is a child of pure nature. His body is hairy, his hands strong, and his eyes are as alert as those of wild animals. Only the gods and the winds of the desert know of his birth. When he took his first breath, even the nearby lions bowed in reverence. This creature will be the bridge between civilization and the wild, and will revolutionize Gilgamesh's life. Meanwhile, in Uruk, daily life continues. Potters shape clay, blacksmiths swing their hammers by the fire, farmers work in the fields. No one is aware that their world is about to be shaken. Gilgamesh, however, feels particularly restless that day. Since morning, a strange unease has lingered within him, as if the wind is bringing him news from distant places. Around noon, walking alone in the palace garden, Gilgamesh recalls old stories his mother told him. Ninsun would always say to her son, "You were not created alone, my son. There is a soul in this world that will complete you. When you find it, you will discover your true power." The young king, who hadn't fully understood these words back then, now remembers his mother's wisdom and begins to ponder. As evening approaches, the sky over the city gradually darkens. When the first stars begin to appear, Gilgamesh climbs to the highest tower of his palace and gazes at the horizon. He does not know then that far away, in the steppe grasslands, a being as powerful as he is, also looking at the same stars and questioning his own destiny. It is now only a matter of time before the two souls meet. As night deepens, the streets of Uruk fall completely silent. Only the footsteps of the guards and the sound of the wind rustling through the houses can be heard. Gilgamesh, lying in his bed, wonders what tomorrow will bring. He does not yet know that very soon he will find the greatest friend of his life, embark on legendary adventures with him, and eventually seek the secret of immortality. Tonight, the wheels of fate are slowly turning, and the greatest story of ancient times is beginning to take shape. In the distant deserts, Enkidu, on his first night, looks at the stars and feels a strange longing within him. He does not yet know what he wants, but his heart draws him towards an unknown destination. The God's plan of creation is perfect. Two powerful souls will find each other and together write the greatest epic of the ancient world. In this silent night, both characters, unaware of the magnitude of their destiny, await the first light of morning. In the desert steppes, days walk from the city of Uruk, in lands untouched by human foot, a new life takes shape from the hands of Aruru, the goddess of creation. As the goddess kneads the purest clay from the banks of the Euphrates River in her palms, she bestows upon this creature not only strength, but also a pure heart. Enkidu's birth is a cosmic event felt by all living beings in nature. Nearby lions, eagles, deer, and wild bulls sense the importance of this moment and wait in silence. When he takes his first breath, Enkidu sees the endless steppes surrounding him. His eyes begin to explore the world with a purity no one has ever seen. His body is as strong and hairy as nature itself. His hands are powerful enough to break the hardest rocks, and his feet are agile enough to run across the toughest terrain. But most importantly, his heart is completely pure. He does not yet know the deceit of civilization, the complexity of city life, or the wickedness of humans. He is simply a child of nature and in perfect harmony with nature. In his early days, Enkidu meets the animals around him. He runs among herds of deer, drinks water with them, and speaks their language. Even lions bow respectfully before him because they sense the divine power within him. Enkidu looks at the stars in the darkness of the night and notices a strange longing within him. This feeling, whose nature he does not yet understand, constantly draws him northward towards the direction of the cities. In his dreams, he sees high walls he has never seen, crowded streets, and beings walking on 2 feet like himself. He lives this way for weeks. He wakes with the dawn, roams the steppes throughout the day, and ponders under the stars in the evenings. Every sound in nature is familiar to him. The song of the wind, the call of birds, the distant howl of wolves. Yet he cannot quell the feeling of emptiness within him. The gods created him for a purpose, and that purpose has not yet been fulfilled. One morning, distant sounds attract Enkidu's attention. These are sounds he has never heard before. Human voices. A group of shepherds has come to this region to graze their flocks. Enkidu secretly watches them from behind a tall rock. For the first time, he sees beings of his own kind, but he immediately notices the difference between them. These people are weak, hairless, and constantly seem to be in fear. But they have something Enkidu lacks: fire, tools, speech, and most importantly, their togetherness. As the shepherds set up camp for the night, they build a fire and tell stories. Enkidu watches this warmth and togetherness from afar. His longing intensifies. He begins to catch the first glimpses of the city life he saw in his dreams, but he does not yet dare to approach them. For days he watches them from a distance, trying to learn their behavior, trying to understand their language. One of the shepherds sees Enkidu one night. He is filled with fear because he has never seen such a being before. The next day he tells the other shepherds, "In the deserts there lives a creature like us, but different, strong and large, but he talks to wild animals." This news spreads among the shepherds and eventually reaches distant cities through merchant caravans. Enkidu is saddened when he sees the shepherds' fear. He does not want to harm anyone. He only wants to be with them, but the difference between them is too great. In the darkness of the night, he prays to his goddess, Aruru. "Mother, why did you create me this way? I cannot belong to the world of city dwellers, nor am I entirely wild. What is this longing within me? How will this emptiness be filled?" The goddess's answer comes with the wind. "Be patient, my son. You were created to be a bridge between nature and civilization, between strength and wisdom, between loneliness and friendship. You will understand when the time comes." Meanwhile, in Uruk, Gilgamesh in his palace begins to have strange dreams. In his dreams, he sees himself encountering a being as powerful as he is, but entirely different. This being fights him, then becomes his friend. He tells these dreams to his mother, Ninsun. The wise goddess laughs and says, "My son, the gods are sending you a friend. He is your missing piece. When you find him, you will understand who you truly are." As Enkidu's story continues, his fame gradually spreads. Merchants and shepherds talk about this mysterious being living in the deserts. Some describe him as a terrifying monster, while others see him as a benevolent spirit. These stories reach Uruk and pique Gilgamesh's interest. Seasons change, and Enkidu still lives in the deserts. He is now the leader of all the animals around him. They respect him and come to him for protection. But the longing within Enkidu never diminishes. Each passing day, the wind from the north, from the cities, affects him more and more. One day, a distant caravan catches his attention. This caravan has come from Uruk and is carrying valuable goods. Enkidu watches them from afar. The caravan and leader tells the others about strange tracks he saw in the desert. Like human footprints, but very large, and these tracks are mixed with animal tracks. This night, Enkidu prays to his goddess, Aruru, for the last time. "Mother, I can't bear it anymore. The longing within me is consuming me. Whatever purpose you created me for, I am ready to fulfill it." the goddess speaks to him one last time. Tomorrow morning, a woman will come from the east. She will take you beyond the deserts. Do not fear, this is your destiny. Indeed, the next morning, a young and beautiful woman appears from the east. This woman is Shamhat, sent specially from Uruk to bring Enkidu to civilization. Her task is to prepare this wild man for city life. When Enkidu sees the woman, his heart quickens. For the first time, he will directly encounter someone of his own kind. Shamhat is not afraid as she approaches Enkidu. She sees the purity and kindness in his eyes. Enkidu, for the first time in his life, comes face to face with a representative of civilization. This encounter marks the end of his wild life and the beginning of his path to city life. The first conversation between them will change Enkidu's language, shape his thoughts, and prepare him to meet Gilgamesh. Only the gods know the magnitude of this moment. The first step necessary for the meeting of two powerful souls has been taken. Enkidu's journey from the deserts to the city, from wildness to civilization, is about to begin. How will this encounter change his pure heart and prepare him for Gilgamesh's world? As Shamhat speaks her first words to Enkidu, the silence of the desert is broken. Now these lands will be witness not only to Enkidu, but also to his future. In the distance, within the walls of Uruk, Gilgamesh continues to see this development, of which he is not yet aware, in his dreams. Enkidu's introduction to civilization will change not only his outward appearance, but also his soul. The free child of the deserts will soon step into the complex world of cities and there confront the destiny that awaits him. This change will be painful, but will also lead him to his true purpose. As night approaches, Enkidu and Shamhat sit in the middle of the desert. The woman tells him about city life, human customs, and the greatness of Uruk. As Enkidu listens to these stories, he feels that the longing within him has finally found a name. That longing is the longing for civilization, the longing to live among people. And most importantly, the longing to form a friendship with someone as strong as himself. Under Shamhat's guidance, Enkidu emerges from the deserts and begins to live among humans for the first time in a real sense. His first stop is a small village established by shepherds. When the people here see him, they initially flee in fear, for Enkidu still retains his wild appearance, his body is hairy, and his behavior is entirely natural. But through Shamhat's patient efforts, the villagers realize he is harmless. On the first evening, the villagers invite him to dinner. Enkidu will taste cooked food for the first time in his life. The shepherds place bread and wine before him. Enkidu knows nothing of these foreign tastes. Shamhat teaches him how to eat bread and how to drink wine. This first meal is one of the most important steps in Enkidu's introduction to civilization, because cooked food is one of the most fundamental characteristics distinguishing humans from animals. Spending the night in the village, Enkidu converses with the shepherds. He listens to their stories and tells of his own desert adventures. The shepherds are surprised to learn that he can speak with animals. Enkidu advises them on how to protect their flocks. He teaches them at what hours lions might attack, how to chase away wolves, and how to identify sick animals. This exchange of knowledge brings Enkidu great joy. For the first time, he sees his knowledge helping others. The next day, the villagers cue Enkidu's hair and beard, giving him a more civilized appearance. They dress him in clean clothes. This change is not merely external. Enkidu also feels different inside. He is no longer entirely wild, but not yet fully a city dweller either. He is somewhere between two worlds. Shamhat tells him about the city of Uruk and its king, Gilgamesh. She describes Gilgamesh's power, intelligence, but also his pride and sometimes his harshness towards his people. As Enkidu listens to these stories, he feels strange emotions. He hasn't seen Gilgamesh yet, but he begins to harbor feelings of both admiration and challenge towards him. During the week they spend in the village, Enkidu changes completely. He can now speak properly, has learned civilized behaviors, and has grown accustomed to human customs. But most importantly, he has begun to enjoy living among people. Children play with him, women prepare food for him, men converse with him. Enkidu experiences a true sense of family for the first time in his life. But Shamhat does not let him forget that his true destination is Uruk. You were created for a great purpose, Enkidu. Gilgamesh awaits you, even if he doesn't know it yet. These words rekindle the longing within Enkidu. He too has now become curious about this great city and its famous king. On the day they set off for Uruk, the villagers bid them farewell. Enkidu's eyes well up as he says goodbye to these people. For the first time, he experiences the pain of parting with loved ones. This emotion teaches him a great deal: the value of love, the fear of loss, the meaning of attachment. He is no longer just a powerful being, but also a human with emotions who loves and is loved. The journey to Uruk takes 3 days. During this time, Shamhat continues to teach Enkidu the intricacies of city life. She teaches him how to greet, how to show respect to elders, how to buy again, and how to use money. Enkidu rapidly absorbs all this information, for his intelligence has developed as much as his strength. On the evening of the 3rd day, they see the walls of Uruk in the distance. Enkidu sees such a grand structure for the first time in his life. The height of the walls, the magnificence of the gates, the smoke rising from the city enchant him. "How big this is!" he exclaims. Shamhat smiles. "You haven't seen anything yet." As they approach the city gates, the guards see Enkidu and are surprised, for his stature, his muscles, the strength in his gaze are not those of an ordinary human. But thanks to his clothes and Shamhat by his side, they allow him to enter. As Enkidu steps into the city streets, the crowd around him seems overwhelming. He has never seen so many people together before. Uruk's streets that evening are bustling as usual. Merchants display their wares, children play, women carry water, men return from work. As Enkidu passes through this crowd, he observes the people carefully. Each has a different worry, a different joy, a different story. This diversity fascinates him. Shamhat takes him to the great square in the center of the city. Here, in the evening hours, people gather, tell stories, play music, and dance. Enkidu is captivated by this sight. After the silence of the deserts, this colorful life seems so vibrant to him. The last remnants of his wildness begin to melt away here. But the greatest shock comes the moment he first sees Gilgamesh. As the king emerges from his palace and crosses the square, all the people bow respectfully. Gilgamesh's stature, powerful bearing, and the authority in his eyes cannot help but impress Enkidu. But, at the same time, he also notices his pride and severity. At first sight, the two powerful souls recognize each other. Gilgamesh also notices Enkidu, because amidst the crowd he senses the presence of another as strong as himself. Their eyes meet for a moment. This gaze ignites the first spark of their great future for kinship, but they do not yet speak. Gilgamesh continues his way towards his palace. That night, Enkidu stays at Shamhat's house, but he cannot sleep. He keeps thinking about Gilgamesh. Is this man really so powerful? Is he truly invincible? Enkidu feels the sense of challenge within him growing. At the same time, he has also noticed the loneliness in Gilgamesh's eyes. This loneliness is very similar to his own loneliness in the deserts. The next day, rumors about Enkidu begin to spread throughout the city. The strong man from the deserts is going to challenge our king. He's as strong as Gilgamesh. He can speak with wild animals. These rumors eventually reach the palace. When Gilgamesh hears this news, he is both curious and angry. The presence of someone as strong as himself in his kingdom wounds his pride. But at the same time, he feels the excitement of meeting a real rival, because for a long time there has been no one in his life to challenge him. When he discusses this with his mother, Ninsun, the wise goddess tries to calm her son. This man may not be your enemy, but your friend. The gods sent him to you. Show him understanding, not anger. But Gilgamesh does not listen to his mother's advice. That evening he sees Enkidu again in the square. This time, both are ready to confront each other. The crowd senses the tension between the two powerful men and draws back. "Are you the one from the deserts?" Gilgamesh asks, with a challenging tone in his voice. "I am Enkidu," Enkidu replies, his eyes determined. "And you must be the king of Uruk." "That's right, and in this city there can be no one as powerful as me." These words anger Enkidu. "Don't speak so boastfully before seeing your strength." The crowd watches the argument between the two men, holding their breath. They sense that this encounter is a historic moment. Two legendary powers have met face to face for the first time. Gilgamesh and Enkidu look into each other's eyes. In this gaze, there is as much a challenge as there is a recognition. It is as if their souls recognized each other before their bodies did. "Tomorrow morning, in the city square," Gilgamesh says, "you will show your strength then." Enkidu nods. "I will be ready." As the crowd disperses, the two men go in different directions. But both think the same thing. Tomorrow will be the most important fight of their lives. They do not yet know that this fight will also be the beginning of the greatest friendship of their lives. That night, no one in Uruk slept soundly. Everyone wondered what tomorrow would bring. Gilgamesh paced in his palace, thinking of his rival. Enkidu, in Shamhat's house, questioned what tomorrow would bring. As two powerful hearts await the first light of morning, the gods' plan is slowly unfolding. This encounter will be one of the greatest events in Uruk's history and will unite the destinies of two heroes forever. The wait until morning is long and arduous for both Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Neither can sleep, both think of tomorrow. They do not yet know that this fight will be not only a display of strength, but also a ceremony of two souls uniting. The day after the great battle in the square of Uruk, this extraordinary encounter is recounted in every corner of the city. Gilgamesh and Enkidu's wrestling match, lasting for hours, was a magnificent display that ended without a victor, but with both warriors recognizing each other's strength. At the end of the fight, the two men embraced and declared themselves brothers. Now, there were two kings in Uruk, one on the throne, the other in the hearts of the people. In the early days of their friendship, Gilgamesh and Enkidu are seen together everywhere in the city. They walk in the palace gardens, wander through the markets, and speak with the people. Thanks to Enkidu, Gilgamesh begins to understand his people more intimately. Enkidu's pure perspective allows him to see his Lee's troubles through different eyes. Enkidu, in turn, continues to learn the complexities of city life under Gilgamesh's guidance. In the evenings they sit on the palace terrace and have long conversations. Gilgamesh tells Enkidu about the burdens of kingship, his yearning for immortality, and the emptiness he feels despite his divine power. Enkidu tells him stories from the deserts, shares the wisdom of nature, and gives examples from the animal world. These conversations nourish both of them spiritually. But in time, both feel a sense of stagnation. The calm life in Uruk does not satisfy their powerful souls. Gilgamesh says to Enkidu, "Friend, this tranquil life dulls us. We must do great deeds, accomplish heroic acts that will be remembered forever." Enkidu understands his friend's desire, for he too feels a similar longing within him. "But what can we do, Gilgamesh? What great task awaits us?" Gilgamesh's eyes sparkle. He has had a plan forming in his mind for a long time. "Do you know Humbaba, friend?" Enkidu's face darkens. During his desert life, he has heard terrifying stories about Humbaba, the guardian of the cedar forests, a monster created by the gods. His breath is fire, his voice like thunder. "Of course I know him." "Well, we will defeat him," Gilgamesh says excitedly. "We will clear the cedar forests and offer them as a gift to humanity. We will bring the most beautiful cedar trees for Uruk." Enkidu tries to warn his friend. "Gilgamesh, Humbaba is very dangerous. If we kill him, we will incur the wrath of the gods. He was placed there by Enlil to protect the forests." But Gilgamesh is determined. "I do not fear the wrath of the gods. If I am mortal, I must at least die doing great deeds. Will you be by my side?" Enkidu thinks for a long time. He knows following his friend is dangerous, but he also knows he cannot leave him alone. "I will come with you, friend, but consider the end of this journey." After making their decision, they begin preparations. They summon the city's best blacksmiths and weapon masters. They have special axes, swords, bows, and arrows prepared for themselves. Each can easily wield these weapons, which would be too heavy for ordinary people. His mother, Ninsun, is very worried when she learns of her son's plan. "My son, this is madness. Fighting Humbaba is like committing suicide. Please give up this idea." But Gilgamesh tries to persuade his mother. "Mother, I am not an ordinary mortal. I am endowed with divine power. I must use this power for a purpose." When Ninsun realizes she cannot convince her son, she begins to pray to the gods. She especially implores the sun god Shamash, "Protect my son, guide him. May he return safely from this journey." The city folk experience mixed emotions when they learn of the two heroes' plan. Some support them, while others find this dangerous adventure unfitting for them. The elders try to warn their young kings. "These forests are cursed. Humbaba's power is legendary. Do not go." But the young and brave ones cheer them on. "Go and bring us cedar. Make Uruk more beautiful." When the day of departure arrives, a large crowd gathers at the city gate. Gilgamesh and Enkidu, dressed in their finest armor, equipped with their weapons, stand before the people. Gilgamesh addresses the crowd. "My dear people, we embark on this journey for you, to make Uruk more beautiful, more prosperous. We will defeat Humbaba and bring the most beautiful cedar trees from the forests." Enkidu adds, "Do not fear. Together we can overcome any danger." The crowd applauds and prays for them. The old priest places his hands on the heads of the two heroes and asks for divine protection. As they leave the city gates, a long and perilous journey lies ahead of them. The cedar forests are days away from Uruk. Along the way, they will cross deserts, mountains, and wild lands. On the first day, Enkidu shows Gilgamesh the way. Thanks to his experience of desert life, He knows which direction to go, where to find water, and what dangers they will face. At night, camping by the fire, they sit and make plans for tomorrow. Gilgamesh explains how they will fight Humbaba. Enkidu, in turn, describes the geography of the forest. "This is no ordinary forest, Gilgamesh," Enkidu says. "Its trees are so massive they touch the sky. It's very easy to get lost inside. And Humbaba, his power is unimaginable." "Are you afraid?" Gilgamesh asks. "No, I am not afraid because you are with me, but we must be careful." On the third day of their journey, they begin to see the edge of the forest in the distance. Giant cedar trees rise as if covering the sky. At the entrance of the forest, there is an ancient stone gate. On this gate, Humbaba's terrifying face is carved. "Here we are," Enkidu says. "There's no turning back from here." Gilgamesh places his hand on his friend's shoulder. "As long as we enter together, there's nothing to fear." As they step into the forest, a deep silence envelops them. Only the rustling of leaves and mysterious distant sounds are heard. The trees are so large and dense that sunlight barely penetrates. As they advance, they begin to feel the magic of the forest. This forest is not an ordinary piece of nature. It is a magical place created by the power of the gods. With every step, they feel Humbaba's presence more closely. After walking for a few hours, a strange sound comes from afar. This sound is unlike anything an animal could make. It is deep, powerful, and terrifying. "Humbaba," Enkidu whispers. "He is near." The two heroes prepare their weapons and begin to move towards the direction of the sound. The great battle is approaching, and both are aware of it. In the depths of the forest, the moment of confrontation with the legendary monster has arrived. The sound coming from among the trees intensifies. Humbaba has sensed their presence and is warning them, but Gilgamesh and Enkidu have no intention of retreating. "Are you ready?" Gilgamesh asks. "I am ready for anything with you," Enkidu replies. And so they step towards one of the greatest battles of ancient times. In the depths of the cedar forest, they are about to fight a battle of life and death with Humbaba, who awaits them. After the epic battle with Humbaba, Gilgamesh and Enkidu return to Uruk as heroes. The streets of the city are adorned with the most beautiful cedar trees, and the people praise their two friends to the heavens. In the palace gardens, statues made from the giant trees they brought from the heart of the forest are erected. This victory is the brightest moment of Gilgamesh's reign. But the gods see this heroism differently. Especially Enlil, the god of storms, is furious about the killing of Humbaba. For Humbaba was created by him to protect the cedar forests. In the assembly of the gods, Enlil angrily says, "These mortals have gone too far. How dare they kill my creature?" Meanwhile, in Uruk, the two friends are seeking new adventures. With the confidence gained from defeating Humbaba, they feel invincible. Gilgamesh, in particular, begins to think he can rival the gods. This pride will soon bring great trouble upon him. One morning, Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, appears before Gilgamesh. With her extraordinary beauty, the goddess tries to charm the king's heart. Her golden hair shines like the sun, her eyes sparkle like stars. She makes him this offer. "O mighty Gilgamesh, marry me. Let you be my husband and I your wife. I will give you all the riches of the heavens. Your chariots will be gold, your wheels silver. Gods will come to your palace and show respect." But Gilgamesh rejects the goddess's offer, for he knows that all of Ishtar's past loves ended badly. He answers her thus, "O beautiful goddess, though your gifts seem enticing, your past frightens me. Remember what you did to Tammuz. You killed him. What did you do? To the Alalu bird, you broke its wing. What did you do to the lion hunter? You threw him into a pit. You ruin everyone you love. These words fill Ishtar with great rage. No one has ever answered her in this way. She immediately ascends to the heavens and goes before her father, Anu. Weeping, she complains, "Father, Gilgamesh has humiliated me. Not only did he reject my offer, he also accused me. He must suffer the consequences of this humiliation." Anu sees his daughter's distress, but also knows that Gilgamesh's words are true. Ishtar truly brings her loves to unhappy ends, but he cannot resist his daughter's insistence. "What do you want?" he asks. Ishtar, her eyes flashing with anger, "Give me the bull of heaven. I will unleash it upon Uruk to break Gilgamesh's pride." Anu hesitates. The terror of the bull of heaven is immense. If he unleashes it upon the earth, there will be 7 years of famine and thousands of innocent people will die. "My daughter, this is too dangerous. If we unleash the bull of heaven, the people of Uruk will be ruined." But Ishtar is determined. "Father, if you do not give me the bull, I will open the gates of the underworld and raise the dead, unleashing them upon the living." Faced with this threat, Anu reluctantly gives the bull of heaven to his daughter. Ishtar immediately sets off for Uruk. Meanwhile, in the city, Gilgamesh and Enkidu are having a calm day. They stroll in the market, conversing with the people. People want to hear again and again how they defeated Humbaba. But suddenly, the sky darkens. The sun seems to vanish in an instant. The wind intensifies, thunder begins to roll. People look up at the sky in fear. "What is this?" Enkidu wonders. Gilgamesh, seeing the change in the sky, becomes anxious. This is not a natural storm. A divine power is at work. Suddenly, a giant shadow descends from the sky. This shadow is that all, the bull of heaven. The monster begins its descent upon Uruk. The bull's height is like a mountain, its breath like a hurricane, its eyes flash like lightning. When the bull lands, with its first breath, 100 people die. With its second breath, another 200 die. With its third breath, it tries to pull Enkidu towards it, but Enkidu escapes at the last moment. "Gilgamesh!" Enkidu shouts. "It's the bull of heaven. Ishtar has sent it upon us." Gilgamesh immediately draws his weapon. "Then we shall fight." The two friends begin to circle the giant monster. The bull's power is tremendous. Earthquakes erupt when it stomps its feet. The breath from its nostrils burns and destroys houses. Enkidu dances in front of the bull to distract it. "Gilgamesh, I will draw its attention. You attack from behind." The plan works perfectly. Enkidu grabs one of the bull's horns and holds it. Gilgamesh takes this opportunity to attack the bull's neck with his sword. The battle lasts for hours. The bull tries to resist with its last strength, but the cooperation of the two friends is perfect. Finally, Gilgamesh's sharp sword plunges into the bull's heart. The bull of heaven bellows one last time and collapses to the ground. With its death, the sky brightens again and the wind dies down. The city folk gaze in admiration at their heroes. The two friends have once again accomplished the impossible. But this time, they have directly angered the gods. Ishtar goes mad when she sees her bull killed. She climbs onto the city walls and shouts, "Oh, Gilgamesh, you killed my bull. You will pay the price for this murder." Enkidu is unaffected by the goddess's rage. He tears off one of the bull's legs and hurls it at Ishtar. "If you wish, come down, and we will do the same to you." This act angers Ishtar even more. She ascends to the heavens and complains to the other gods. This night, the people of Uruk celebrate with joy. Music plays in the streets, people dance. The heroic deeds of Gilgamesh and Enkidu are told in songs. But in the palace, Queen Insun is worried. Her son's open conflict with the gods is not a good omen. She tries to warn Gilgamesh, "My son, you have incurred the wrath of the gods. Do not be so arrogant. They may seek revenge on you." But Gilgamesh is intoxicated with his victory. "Mother, we can even defeat the gods. With Enkidu by my side, we fear no power." Enkidu shares his friend's enthusiasm. "Yes, goddess, whatever monster comes, we will defeat it too." The celebrations continue throughout the night. The two heroes walk through the city amidst the cheers of the people. Children throw flowers at them, women sing to them, men show them respect. But in the heavens, the assembly of the gods gathers. Enlil, Anu, and the other great gods discuss this rebellion. Enlil angrily says, "These mortals are overstepping their bounds. First they killed my Humbaba, now the bull of heaven. They are now disregarding us gods." Anu adds, "Gilgamesh's pride has reached the heavens. We must punish him." After long discussions, the gods reach a bitter decision. One of them must die, either Gilgamesh or Enkidu. In the end, they decide that Enkidu must die, for Gilgamesh's mother, Ninsun, is one of the gods and tries to protect her son. This decision is conveyed to Enkidu in a dream that night. He has a terrible dream. A dark angel from the land of the dead takes him under its wings. This land is dark and silent. There is no light there. People chirp like birds. When morning comes, Enkidu tells Gilgamesh this dream. "My friend, I had a bad dream. It's as if I'm going to die." Gilgamesh tries to calm his friend. "It's just a dream. You are strong. Nothing can harm you." But as days pass, Enkidu's health begins to deteriorate. First a slight fever, then weakness, then a persistent cough. The city's best doctors are called, but no one can find a cure for him. Enkidu understands the cause of his illness. This is the gods' punishment. He says to Gilgamesh, "My friend, the gods are taking revenge on me. I am dying." "No!" Gilgamesh cries out.
"You won't die, even if they are gods. They cannot take you from me." But Enkidu accepts his fate. "Gilgamesh, listen. You will live and do great deeds. Do not forget me. And remember, true strength lies in friendship." Days pass, and Enkidu's condition worsens. He can no longer get out of bed. He struggles to breathe. Gilgamesh stays by his side day and night, never letting go of his hand. "You will get better," he insists. "We will go on many more adventures together." But Enkidu knows his final days have come. Clinging tightly to Gilgamesh's hand, he says, "My friend, life is very short, but our friendship will live forever. Whenever you remember me, I will be by your side." On his last night, Enkidu peacefully closes his eyes. His breath slows. His heart stops. Thus, the great hero from the deserts departs from the world, a victim of the gods' wrath. Gilgamesh cannot accept his friend's death. For days he waits by his corpse, trying to talk to him. "Get up, Enkidu. I am talking to you. Don't leave me alone." But Enkidu is now silent. Death has taken him away. Gilgamesh experiences the pain of true loss for the first time. This pain changes him deeply. The city people are plunged into deep sorrow. when they hear of the great hero's death.
A grand funeral ceremony is held for Enkidu. The most beautiful flowers are brought, the most beautiful songs are sung. But for Gilgamesh, this ceremony is not enough. In memory of his friend, he erects a large golden statue in the middle of the city. This statue shows Enkidu in all his glory, strong, brave, and pure. After the funeral, Gilgamesh withdraws into his palace. He no longer speaks to the people as before, nor does he wander through the city. He simply sits before his friend's statue and reflects on the past. During this deep sorrow, a terrible truth comes to him. He too is mortal. If Enkidu died, his own end is certain. This thought fills him with terror. I too will become earth, he murmurs. All my strength, all my victories will be nothing. It is at this moment that Gilgamesh's great quest begins. He decides to find immortality because he cannot accept death. In the depths of the night, he kneels before his friend's statue and swears, Enkidu, your death will not be in vain. I will find immortality and live forever. Then you too will have lived with me. This oath begins a new chapter in his life. He is no longer a warrior king, but a wanderer seeking immortality. Enkidu's death has changed him. Now he faces the challenge of battling death. When morning comes, Gilgamesh announces his decision. I am leaving Uruk. I will not return until I learn the secret of immortality. This decision surprises everyone, but Gilgamesh is determined. Enkidu's death has taught him how short life is. The time has come. He will pursue immortality and will not stop until he finds it. Thus begins one of the greatest quests of the ancient world, a king's battle with death. Will he be victorious in this battle? Or will he, like all humans, bow before death? The first few days after Enkidu's death become an unbearable torment for Gilgamesh. When he wakes in the mornings and remembers that his friend is not by his side, a deep void settles within him. He realizes that the footsteps echoing in the palace corridors are only his own. He no longer has a friend to converse with, make plans with, or laugh with. He leaves Enkidu's room exactly as it was. His clothes still hang in the closet, his bed is still made, his weapons still on the wall. Gilgamesh enters this room every day and stands for hours. He tries to catch the scent of his friend, tries to hear his voice, but there is only silence. The city people become worried when they see their king in this state. Gilgamesh no longer concerns himself with state affairs, attends no council meetings, listens to none of the people's troubles. He lives only in sorrow. This situation shakes the governance of Uruk. His mother, Ninsun, comes to him and tries to comfort him. My son, Enkidu is gone now, but life goes on. You are still king. Your people need you. But Gilgamesh does not listen to his mother's words. Mother, you have never experienced death, for you are a god, immortal. But I lost Enkidu. A great piece of me was torn away. For days he refuses to eat, spends nights sleepless. He wanders alone in the palace gardens, on the paths where the two friends once walked together. Every corner, every tree, every stone reminds him of Enkidu. One night he sees Enkidu in his dream. His friend is calling to him from a very distant place. Gilgamesh, do not look for me. I am now in the land of the dead. There is no light there, only darkness. After waking from his dream, Gilgamesh is even more distraught. He thinks of the suffering his friend endured and blames himself. I led him to his death. I convinced him to fight Humbaba. We fought the bull of heaven. I angered the gods, and he paid the price. This feeling of guilt begins to gnaw at him from within. He cannot sleep at night, cannot eat during the day. His body weakens, his spirit begins to darken. One morning, when he looks in the mirror, he does not recognize himself. His beard has grown long, his eyes are sunken, his cheeks hollow. The king, once powerful and magnificent, is now a desolate man. Is this me? He asks himself. What good were my divine powers? I couldn't protect my friend. At this moment, a terrible thought crosses his mind. He too will die. If Enkidu died, his own end is certain. This realization terrifies him. I too will become earth. My breath too will be cut off. I too will be forgotten. This thought nearly drives him mad. He looks at the city from the palace terrace and sees the transience of all this life. People are born, live and die. Generations come and generations go. But death takes
them all away. No, he cries out to the heavens, I do not accept this fate. I will find immortality. After this decision, he goes to his mother, Ninsun. Mother, you know the secret of the immortals. Tell me, how can I live forever? Ninsun sees the determination in her son's eyes and is saddened. My son, immortality is reserved for the gods alone. Even if you are half god, your mortal share is dominant. But there must be a way. There must be a cure. Ninsun thinks for a long time. Finally, she shares a very secret piece of information. Utnapishtim. Who is Utnapishtim? He is the only human who survived the Great Flood. The gods granted him immortality, but he lives very far away, at the ends of the earth. It is almost impossible to reach there. Gilgamesh's eyes sparkle. Where? How can I find him? My son, this is madness. That journey is deadly. There are thousands of dangers along the way. But Gilgamesh has made up his mind. Mother, I am going. I will find Utnapishtim and learn the secret of immortality from him. He begins preparations. He puts on his sturdiest clothes, girds himself with his sharpest weapon, and prepares food and water for the long journey. His mother tries to persuade him one last time. My son, you cannot bring Enkidu back. The dead do not return. You must continue to live among the living. No, mother, I cannot live without Enkidu. I will either find immortality, or I will try and die in the attempt. When the day of farewell arrives, the city people come to see off their king. Everyone is very sad because it is uncertain whether Gilgamesh will ever return. Gilgamesh addresses his people. My dear people, I am embarking on this journey to find immortality. If I succeed, Uruk will live forever. If I fail, remember me. As he leaves the city gates, he looks back one last time. Uruk's great walls, high towers, and crowded streets pass before his eyes. Perhaps he is seeing them for the last time. On the first day, he walks on familiar ground.
He is still within Uruk's sphere of influence, but the next day he steps into unknown lands. In the early stages of the journey, he feels the weight of being alone. If Enkidu were here, he would talk to him, shortening the path. Now there is only silence. Camping at night, he remembers his friend. Enkidu, I wish you were here. If only we had embarked on this journey together. He constantly sees Enkidu in his dreams. Sometimes he remembers their happy days, sometimes their last moments. Each time he wakes up crying. In the first week of his journey, he encounters a pride of lions. In the past, he and Enkidu would easily deal with such dangers together. Now he is alone. When the lions attack him, he fights with all his strength. His sword dances in the air, every blow finding its target. He eventually kills the lions, but this victory brings him no joy. Enkidu, if you were here, we would have won this battle together, he whispers. Days pass, and the journey becomes harder. He crosses mountains, traverses deserts, swims across rivers. His body is tired, but his spirit is determined. One night, when he is very tired, sitting by the fire, he thinks he hears Enkidu's voice. Gilgamesh, abandon this journey. Come to me. He looks around, but there is no one, only the wind and the crackling of the fire. Enkidu, is that you? He shouts into the darkness, but there is no answer. At these moments, he realizes that the loss of his friend will drive him mad. But at the same time, he feels the strength that this loss gives him. Enkidu's memory pushes him forward. I am doing this for you, my friend. I will find immortality and remember you forever. His journey continues like this. Each day, a little more alone, a little more determined. In the distance, at the end of the world, Utnapishtim awaits him. On this arduous journey, Gilgamesh does not only seek immortality, he also seeks a life worthy of his friend's memory. He tries to learn how to live in a world without Enkidu. So where will this quest lead him? Will he find immortality, or will he discover himself during the search? How will this journey, which began with the loss of his friend, conclude? After months of travel, Gilgamesh approaches the end of the world. There is nothing familiar left around him. The trees are entirely different. The color of the earth has changed. Even the air smells different. These are lands untouched by mortals, known only to the gods. The last obstacle he faces is the mountains of Mashu. These mountains are so high their peaks touch the sky. At the foot of the mountain are giant gates guarded by scorpion men. The upper half of these creatures is human, the lower half scorpion. Fire shoots from their eyes, and their poisonous tails dance in the air. As Gilgamesh approaches, one of the scorpion men calls out to him, "Stop! Who are you? This is a place mortals cannot pass. Only the sun god Shamash passes through this gate." Gilgamesh, gathering all his strength, replies, "I am Gilgamesh, king of Uruk. I am looking for Utnapishtim. I must reach him." The scorpion men look at each other. This mortal's courage surprises them. Gilgamesh, chill. Are you the one who fought the gods, who killed Humbaba and the bull of heaven? Yes. And now I seek immortality. The scorpion man shakes his head and says, "The tunnel inside this mountain is very long. 12 hours of continuous darkness. There is no light. You are mortal. You might not endure this journey." But Gilgamesh is determined. "I am ready to try. Let me pass." The scorpion men are impressed by his determination. They open the gates and show him the way. The tunnel inside the mountain is indeed terrifying. Pitch dark, hard to breathe, the silence so intense it deafens the ears. Gilgamesh moves forward, feeling along the walls. With every step, he experiences the fear of getting lost. Hours pass. but it is still dark. Exhaustion sets in, but he continues to walk without stopping. The memory of Enkidu gives him strength. "I am doing this for you, my friend," he whispers into the darkness. "I will find immortality and remember you forever." In the 9th hour, he sees a very tiny light far in the distance. This light rekindles his hope. He quickens his steps. At the end of the 12th hour, he finally reaches the exit of the tunnel. After the blinding light, a magnificent landscape appears before him. This is the Garden of the Gods. Fruits of precious stones hang on the trees. Their branches are gold, their leaves silver. Precious stones are scattered on the ground. There are beautiful scents in the air he has never smelled before. As he walks in this garden, the sun god Shamash appears before him. The god says to him, "Gilgamesh, where are you going? You will never find the life you seek. Humans are mortal. The gods have kept life for themselves." But Gilgamesh does not yield to the god's words. "My dear friend Enkidu became earth. Will I die like him? I cannot bear this fear. I will find Utnapishtim and learn the secret of immortality from him." Shamash, seeing his determination, is saddened, but shows him the way. At the end of this garden, by the sea, lives a tavern keeper named Siduri. She can show you the way. Gilgamesh thanks the god and continues on his way. When he reaches the end of the garden, he indeed sees a small tavern by the sea. Siduri, seeing him from afar, is frightened, for Gilgamesh's state is wretched. His beard is long, his clothes torn, his eyes sunken. He looks like a fugitive. "Who is that?" "A murderer," she thinks, and locks the tavern door. When Gilgamesh approaches the door, he calls inside, "O tavern keeper, open your door. I am Gilgamesh, king of Uruk." Siduri is surprised. Could this miserable man be that famous king? She opens the door a little and scrutinizes him. "Are you really Gilgamesh, the king who killed Humbaba, who defeated the bull of heaven?" "Yes, it is I. But I no longer wish to be king or to be remembered as a hero. I only wish to be immortal." Siduri pities him and lets him in. She gives him food and offers him wine. Then she says, "Gilgamesh, why are you so wretched? Why are you chasing immortality?" Gilgamesh tells her his entire story, Enkidu's death, the pain he feels for him, his fear of death. After listening to the story, Siduri gives him this advice. "Gilgamesh, you seek immortality in vain. The gods have determined humanity's fate. They have given life to themselves and death to us. What are you doing? Eat good food, drink good wine, bathe daily, play with your children, love your wife, enjoy every day of life. This is the lot of humanity." But Gilgamesh does not accept this advice. "No, I will not become earth like my friend Enkidu. Show me the way to Utnapishtim." Siduri, seeing his insistence, describes the way to him. Across the sea, very far away, lives Utnapishtim, but getting there is very difficult. Only Urshanabi, the ferryman of the sun god, can cross this sea. You must find him. The next day, Gilgamesh finds Urshanabi by the sea. The ferryman initially refuses to take him because the journey is very dangerous. "This sea is very, very deadly," he says. "Everything that touches its waters dies. To reach there requires a special boat and special tools." But Gilgamesh insists so much that the ferryman finally agrees. After long and arduous preparations, they set sail. This sea is indeed terrifying. Its waters are black, and there is fog upon it. There are no living creatures in its waters. The ferryman gives Gilgamesh special tools. Row with these oars, but do not touch the water. If you do, throw them away immediately. After days of travel, they see an island in the distance. This island is where Utnapishtim lives. When they land on the island, Gilgamesh is very excited. He will finally learn the secret of immortality. Utnapishtim greets them. He looks like an ordinary old man. Gilgamesh is surprised to see him. "Are you Utnapishtim? Are you immortal? You don't look it to me at all." Utnapishtim smiles. "Yes, I am immortal, but as you can see, immortality does not give one a glorious appearance." Gilgamesh immediately wants to know the secret. "Tell me, how did you become immortal? I want to be immortal too." Utnapishtim begins to tell him the story of the Great Flood. Long ago, the gods grew tired of humans. They decided to send a great flood to destroy them, but the water god Ea warned me and told me to build a boat. I took 2 of every animal into the boat, and with my family I survived the flood. The gods rewarded me with immortality. As Gilgamesh listens to this story, he questions his own situation. "So what about me? How can I be immortal?" Utnapishtim tells him the truth. "You have not performed such a heroic deed. Why would the gods grant you immortality?" These words sadden Gilgamesh, but he still does not give up. There must be a way. There must be a cure. Utnapishtim, seeing his persistence, proposes a test. "Very well, I will test you. If you wish to be immortal, first stay awake for 7 days and 7 nights. If you can conquer sleep, the younger brother of death, perhaps you can conquer death too." Gilgamesh accepts this test. "Easy. I am very strong. I can stay awake." But due to the fatigue of the long journey and his spiritual breakdown, he falls into a deep sleep as soon as he sits down. Utnapishtim's wife pities Gilgamesh, who is asleep. "This poor man is very tired. Why do you give him such a difficult test?" Utnapishtim replies, "I am teaching him the truth. This is human nature. Even the strongest man cannot resist sleep." Gilgamesh sleeps for 7 days. Each day, Utnapishtim's wife leaves a loaf of bread by his head. This way, they will prove how long he slept. On the 7th day, Utnapishtim wakes him. Gilgamesh, opening his eyes, says, "I didn't sleep at all. I had just closed my eyes." Utnapishtim points to the 7 loaves of bread beside him. "Look, there are 7 loaves of bread here. Every day my wife left you a loaf. You slept for 7 days." Gilgamesh, seeing the truth, is greatly disappointed. "Ah, I cannot even conquer sleep. How will I conquer death?" At this moment, he loses all hope. He buries his face in his hands and begins to cry. "I failed. I couldn't save Enkidu, nor could I find immortality." Utnapishtim's wife pities him greatly. "My husband, this man, has come from very distant lands. At least give him some comfort." Utnapishtim cannot resist his wife's plea. He gives Gilgamesh one last secret. "Very well, I will tell you a secret. At the bottom of the sea, there is a special plant. This plant makes a person young again. It does not grant immortality, but it restores youth." Gilgamesh is excited to hear this news. "Where? How can I find it?" "You need to dive to the deepest part of the sea, but be careful, this plant is thorny. Your hands will bleed." Gilgamesh immediately rushes to the sea. He dives to the deepest part and searches for the plant. His breath is almost cut off, but he does not give up. Finally, he finds the thorny plant and plucks it. Although his hands bleed, he is very happy. When he emerges from the sea, he shows the plant to Utnapishtim. "Here, I found it. This plant will restore your youth, but do not eat it. Take it to Uruk. There, first let the elders try it, then you can use it." Gilgamesh carefully guards the plant and begins his journey home. Although he does not have immortality, he now possesses a plant that rejuvenates. The return journey is easier, for he now knows the way. But one day, when he is very tired, he enters a lake to cool off. He leaves the plant beside the edge of the lake and bathes. At that moment, a snake coming to drink water sees the plant. The snake takes the plant and eats it. When Gilgamesh comes out of the lake, he sees that the plant is no longer there. He looks around and notices the snake escaping. As the snake escapes, it sheds its skin, becoming young again. "Ah!" Gilgamesh cries out. "The plant meant for me went to a snake." This final disappointment completely crushes him. He sits down and begins to cry. He had lost Enkidu, failed to find immortality, and now he had lost the rejuvenating plant. But as he cries, something occurs to him. He has learned a great deal on this long journey. Most importantly, he has learned the value of friendship, the meaning of life, and his own limits. Perhaps, he thinks, immortality is not this. Perhaps true immortality lies in preserving beautiful memories, remembering friendship, and doing good deeds. This thought gives him some comfort. He stands up and continues walking towards Uruk. When he returns home, his people greet him with great joy. They had missed their king greatly. Gilgamesh tells them about his long journey, the pain of Enkidu's death, his quest for immortality, his encounter with Utnapishtim, and his loss of the last hope. "But," he says at the end, "I learned something. True immortality is hidden in the beautiful deeds we do, the friendships we form, and the beautiful memories we leave behind." He is different now than before, wiser, humbler, more loving. He understands his people better, is closer to them. Standing before Enkidu's statue, he says to him, "My friend, I could not bring you back, but I will never forget you. You will live in me. Our friendship will last forever." And so Gilgamesh's great quest comes to an end. He did not find immortality, but he discovered something more valuable, the true meaning of life. In the late hours of the night, stars shine above the city. Gilgamesh sits on the terrace of his palace and reflects on the past. The beautiful days he shared with Enkidu, the adventures they had together, the laughter they shared. These memories, he murmurs, will never die. Even after I die, people will tell our story. Our friendship will be an example. This is true immortality. The wind caresses his hair. In the distance, the murmur of the river is heard. Life goes on, time flows by. But some stories, some friendships, some loves remain forever. Gilgamesh closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. He no longer fears death, because he knows that true life does not end with death. Beautiful memories, beautiful deeds, beautiful friendships live forever. And so one of the greatest stories of the ancient world quietly concludes. a king's quest for immortality teaches him the true meaning of life. The journey that began with the loss of Enkidu ends with the discovery of the immortality of friendship. On this peaceful night, under the stars, the story of two friends who lived 5,000 years ago still reaches us. Their friendship, their love, their adventures still live on. This is true immortality, to live in hearts, to be kept alive in stories, to be remembered with love. Gilgamesh sleeps soundly that night. Now he sees Enkidu happy in his dreams. Together they walk in endless gardens, tell endless stories. Friendship has emerged stronger than death. And you too, on this quiet night, at the end of this beautiful story, can sleep peacefully. Because you know that beautiful memories never die, true friendships last forever, and great loves defy time. Good night.